The 12th Man Podcast. Let's talk sports with Coach Dub. The 12th Man Podcast. Good morning, gentlemen. This is Coach Dub coming to you live from College Station, Texas, with your 12th Man Podcast. This episode of your 12th Man Podcast is brought to you proudly by the Dixie Chicken. The town and university have changed, but the chicken has remained timeless. Generations of Aggies have walked through the same swinging doors for a great burger or a cold beer, an Aggie tradition since 1974. All right, we're going to do things a little bit different for our week 3 12th Man Podcast. We're going to do some game recaps, starting with the first one in the ACC, an ACC matchup between Florida State and Tennessee. The ball struck first, but the Seminoles answered for an early 7-7 tie in the first. As the first quarter ticked under a minute, Tennessee capped a 10-play, 78-yard drive with an 8-yard touchdown run by Ricky Hunt Jr., giving us a 14-7 Tennessee lead after one. Florida State continued to fight in a couple of picks by Vols quarterback Avery Johnson later and great field position. And it was Florida State 21, Tennessee 14 at the half. The Vols defense came out strong in the third, and it was Seminoles quarterback Kevin Sperry who threw 2 costly interceptions, giving Tennessee great field position and 14 unanswered third quarter points for a 28-21 lead heading into the final quarter of play. Florida State started out with a promising drive, but it stalled, and they settled for a 37-yard field goal from sophomore Jake Weinberg to pull within 4, 28-24. After several uneventful drives and trading interceptions, the Seminoles, with time dwindling, tried to set the tone by running the ball. And 2 plays later, Cam Davis found a hole for a 59-yard run, scampering down for Florida State to set up for first down and goal. And it took only 1 play for Davis to pound it in for Florida State to take the lead 31-28. And one they would not give up, folks. Big win for the Seminoles, and your player of the game, Florida State running back Cam Davis, who had 12 carries, 127 rushing yards, averaged 10.6 yards a carry, and had 2 rushing touchdowns, including the game winner. Next up, we have a Big Ten matchup for you, Notre Dame versus Michigan State. This was a shootout, old-fashioned style. At that, as defense was non-existent and both teams combined for 1,165 total yards of offense. The Irish held the lead after one quarter, 14-7, but the Spartans flipped it in the second, and your halftime score was knotted at 21-all. Both teams put up 2 touchdowns in the third, but a gutsy call to go for 2 by Notre Dame, and they take a 36-35 lead as it pays off into the fourth. The turning point in this one, though, wasn't the 2-point conversion, but junior cornerback Leonard Moore of the Fighting Irish forcing a fumble late in the third to swing momentum to the Irish, who wouldn't let it go. Notre Dame wills itself to a 53-45 victory over Michigan State. As your player of the game, Irish quarterback Jaden Maiava delivers 47-60 for 78%. He threw for 480 passing yards and 6 passing touchdowns, while only turning the ball over with 2 interceptions. Now we jump over to our last game. That's going to be an SEC matchup between number 13 Florida and number 22 Oklahoma. Another shootout where both teams combined for over 1,000 yards of total offense. The Sooners struck first and led 7-zip after one. But the Gators managed to score twice in the second and outscore Oklahoma 14-10 for a 17-14 halftime lead for the Sooners. Both teams traded touchdowns in the third for a 24-21 score, with Oklahoma leading going into the fourth. The story of the day, though, 0 touchdowns and 3 interceptions for DJ Lagley. Sooners had 7 in the fourth for good measure and escaped the swamp with a 31-21 victory. Your player of the game, Oklahoma cornerback Tayon Holloway, who had 5 tackles, 1 tackle for loss, 2 bass breakups, and 2 huge interceptions, which helped seal the deal for the Sooners in the swamp. That's this week's episode of the Horned Frog Podcast. Hope y'all enjoyed it. This is Coach Dub signing off.